In this video, we're going to be looking at how to construct an ellipse using the major and the minor axis. So this particular method we'll be using today is called the auxiliary circle method. So when we are constructing an ellipse using the major axis and the minor axis using the auxiliary circle method, the first thing you need to do is you make a vertical and horizontal center line so that we locate the center of our ellipse. Then the next thing you do is to draw a circle. The first circle, its diameter should be equal to the major axis. So this is the circle here. And the second circle, the diameter should be equal to the minor axis. So in our example today, our minor axis will be 8 millimeters and our major axis will be 110 millimeters. Keep in mind that these circles, we are looking at the diameter and not the radius. The next step in our construction is to divide our two circles into equal sectors. So for our particular example, we are going to divide our two circles into 12 equal sectors. So once you divide your two circles into equal sectors, you number them. So for our example here, we'll start from 0 here, we'll go clockwise all the way up to 12. Keep in mind that the numbering is both on the circle which has the diameter of the minor axis and the circle that has the diameter of the major axis. So in this construction, our major axis will be the horizontal and our minor axis will be the vertical. So at the end of the video, I'll explain what I mean by major axis and minor axis. So to locate the first 4 points, since our major axis will be along the horizontal and our minor axis will be on the vertical axis, what we'll do is where the horizontal center line is crossing the major axis, keep in mind the major axis will be along the horizontal. So where the horizontal center line is crossing the circle that passes through the major axis, that will be your first point. Even on the other side you have a point. Then since our minor axis will be vertical, where the vertical center line is crossing the circle that has the diameter of the minor axis, you locate your points. So just like that, we have our first 4 points. What's remaining now is to locate the other points. So I'll start by locating point 11 and point 1. So what we do is, I'll start with point 1. So we have this dividing construction line here. So this construction line passes through the bigger circle and the smaller circle. So what you do is, where the dividing line is passing through the smaller circle, you draw a horizontal construction line. And where the bigger circle is crossing the dividing line, you draw a vertical construction line. Where those two lines meet, that will be your point 1. Then on the other side we have 11. We'll do the same thing. Where the dividing line, this line here, passes through this minor axis circle, this point here, you draw a horizontal line. Then where the bigger circle is being cut by the dividing line, this point here, you draw a vertical line. Where those two lines meet, that will be your point 11. So you locate point 11. So we'll go to the next point. We'll go to point 10 and point 2. I'll start with point 2. So where the smaller circle is crossing the dividing line at 2, you draw a horizontal line, and where the bigger circle is crossing the dividing line, you draw a vertical line. Where those two meet, that will be your point 2. You do the same on the other side. A horizontal line where the line is crossing the smaller circle, and the vertical line where the bigger circle is crossing the dividing line. Where they meet, that will be point 10. So we are done with the upper part of the ellipse. So we need to go to where below the horizontal center line. So the first 2 points will be point 4 and point 8. When we talk about point 4, again, where the dividing line passes through the smaller circle, you draw a horizontal line and a vertical line where the dividing line passes through the bigger circle. Where those two meet, you have point 4. You do the same on the other side on point 8. Then finally, you go and locate point 7 here and point 5 on the other side, using the same procedure we've been using all along. So once you do that, you connect the 12 points using a freehand curve. So this is the freehand curve I'm talking about. So the major axis is the longest distance from the circumference of the ellipse to the other side of the ellipse, passing through the circle. So if you look at this distance from point 9 to point 3 here, this is the longest distance from the circumference passing through the circle to the other point of the circumference. That's the major axis. Minor axis is the shortest distance from one point of the circumference passing through the circle to the other point on the circumference. That's the major axis and the minor axis. So this is the end of the video on how to construct an ellipse.